Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning everyone. Good morning Miss. Good morning Miss. How are you today? I'm fine. I'm fine. Thank you. Okay, before we start our class, let's pray together. One of you, please lead to pray. Let's pray together. Finish. Thank you. Is anyone absent today? No one absent, Miss. No one absent, Miss. Okay, if there is no one absent, let's start our lesson. Today we will learn about periodic table. Did you ever go to supermarket or a library? Yes, I did, Miss. How are goods in the supermarket and books in the library arranged? Miss, goods in the supermarket and books in the library are arranged by certain types. Alright, goods in the supermarket and books in the library are arranged according in certain types. Example, type of vegetable will be arranged in the same shelf, as well as a book in the library arranged by genre, like horror, history, romance, and other. Do you know what is the function of this classification? Miss, the function of this classification is to make us easier when searching for goods in the supermarket and when looking for books in the library. Yeah, it's a good answer. This classification to make us easier when searching for goods in the supermarket and books in the library. Then, do you know how the table periodic is arranged? No, I don't miss. In the table periodic, the elements are arranged according to similarities in their properties. The elements are listed in order of increasing atomic number as you read from left to right, cross a period, and from top to bottom down a group. Did you know period and group in this lesson means? No, I don't know this. Okay, before I explain it, please watch this video about the historical of periodic table. Happy watching!
We all know that matter can exist in the form of elements, compounds, and mixtures. When elements were discovered, a proper classification was required for their easier and better understanding. Many scientists adopted different ways to classify them. They tried to find out some pattern or regularity in the properties of elements. The first among them was Johann Wolfgang Dobereiner, a German scientist who in 1829 found some groups of 3 elements which showed similar properties. These groups are called as Dobereiner triads. Here, if we have a look at triad table, we can see that the atomic mass of the middle element is approximately the mean of the atomic masses of the other 2 elements. As this classification was a primitive step, Dobereiner could identify only some triads from the elements known. Other triads did not obey the rule. Hence, the system of triads was not useful. After the failure of Dobereiner's triads, the next attempt to classify elements was done by British chemist Newlands. By this time, 56 elements were discovered. He arranged all these elements in an increasing order of their atomic masses and found that every 8th element had properties similar to that of the first. He compared this to the octaves found in music, and therefore this classification was known as Newland's octaves. However, this classification had its own share of shortcomings, the main points being that Newland could arrange elements only up to calcium out of the total 56 elements known, after which the elements did not show similar properties. Also later, several new elements which did not feature in Newland's classification were discovered. After the failure of Newland's octaves, Dmitry Ivanovich Mendeleev, a Russian chemist, put forward a periodic table that was called Mendeleev Periodic Table. Mendeleev examined the relationship between the atomic masses of the elements and their physical and chemical properties. He believed that atomic mass of element was the most fundamental property in classifying the elements. He arranged the known elements in the increasing order of their atomic masses and their properties, and thus created the first periodic table containing 63 elements, till then known as Mendeleev's periodic table. Mendeleev's law states that the physical and chemical properties of elements are a periodic function of their atomic masses. In the Mendeleev's periodic table, the horizontal rows in the periodic table are called periods. There are in total 7 periods. The vertical columns in the periodic table are called groups. There are 8 groups, numbered from 1 to 8. Mendeleev kept some blank spaces in this periodic table. The vacant spaces were for elements that were yet to be discovered. He named them Eka boron, Eka aluminium, and Eka silicon, and also predicted their properties, which later were found to be correct. When noble gases were discovered, they were placed in Mendeleev's table without disturbing the position of other elements. The Mendeleev's periodic table, however, had its own demerits. Firstly, no fixed position could be given to hydrogen in the table, as it resembled alkali metals as well as halogens. At certain places, an element of higher atomic mass has been placed before an element of lower mass. For example, cobalt, whose atomic mass is 58.93, is placed before nickel, whose atomic mass is 58.71. Also, some elements placed in the same subgroup had different properties. Example, manganese, Mn, is placed with halogens which totally differ in properties. Due to these irregularities, a need for a new classification thus emerged. In 1913, Henry Moseley, an English physicist, discovered that atomic number is the most fundamental property of an element and not its atomic mass. This discovery changed the whole perspective of elements and their properties. Accordingly, Mendeley's periodic law was modified into modern periodic law, which states that the chemical and physical properties of elements are a periodic function of their atomic number. The periodic table based on modern periodic law is called Modern Periodic Table. Many versions of this periodic table are in use, but the one which is most commonly used is long form of Modern Periodic Table. We shall now learn in detail about the Modern Periodic Table.
Okay, I will explain it. You can watch in the projector.
Period is a group of atoms in a horizontal line. Meanwhile, group is a group of atoms in vertical line. There is a progression from metal to non-metal across each row of elements in the periodic table. The diagonal line at the right side is of the table separates the element into two groups, the metal and the non-metal. The elements are on the left. This line tend to be metal, while those to the right tend to be non-metal, with exception of hydrogen, which is non-metal. The elements are directly on the diagonal line are metalloid, with some exception. Aluminium touches the lines, but it's considered a metal. Metallic character generally increase from top to bottom down a group and right to left across a period, meaning that francium has the most metallic character all of the discovered elements. Most of the chemical elements are metal. Most metals have the common properties of being shiny, very dense, and having high melting point. Metal tend to be ductile. Ductile means it can be drawn out into thin wires, and malleable. Malleable means it can be hammered into thin sheets. Metals are good conductors of heat and electricity. All metals are solid at room temperature except for mercury. In chemical reaction, metals easily lose electrons to form positive ions. Examples of metals are silver, gold, and zinc. And from the properties of the table periodic, there are atomic size. Atomic size is the distance from the nucleus to the valence shells where the valence electrons are located. The atomic radius. Atomic radius increases from the top to the bottom in any group and decrease from left to right across a period. Ionization energy. Ionization energy is the energy required to remove the most loosely held electron from a gaseous atom or ion. Ionization energy generally increases across a period and decreases down a group. The higher the electronegativity of an atom, the greater its ability to attract spare electrons. The electronegativity of atom increases as you move from the left to right across a period in the periodic table and decrease as you move from top to bottom down a group in the periodic table.
Okay, that's all the explanation. Do you understand what I have explained? Yes, miss, I understand. I don't have any question. Okay, if there is no question, now please make a group. Each group can have 4 to 5 people. Okay, miss. Okay, miss. Okay, now that you are sitting with your group member, I have a problem that you can solve in a group. I will give you a pack of a card that have element symbol and information on them. Then you can organize them in a group in whatever way you see fit, as long as you can provide justification for your group arrangement. Your group have organized the element into a group, the group representative can present the result of the discussion in the front of a class. Now I will give you 20 minutes to discuss. Okay, that's all for our lesson today. Today, we already learned about the table periodic, the historical, and the properties. Please study for the next lesson. Let's close our lesson today with pray. Please, one of you, need to pray. Okay, to close our lesson today, let's pray together. Pray begin. Finish. Okay, thank you. See you next week. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Miss. Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Miss. See you next week.